Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to Crime Zone. Before we get to today's video, we wanted to announce that Crime Zone's official Patreon page is now live. In addition to ad-free videos and other extras, patrons will also get access to weekly bonus videos for our Crimes of the Week and Crimes of the Week International series. So if you want even more Crime Zone content, head over to patreon.com/crimezone for exclusive cases not featured in today's video.
Representatives from the Nebraska State Patrol say that 3 people have been arrested and are facing charges this week following a dangerous high-speed car chase involving an unlikely culprit, an 11-year-old boy. According to police, the incident began shortly before 1 a.m. on October 16th when the State Patrol received a report about a stolen Jeep Gladiator. The theft had occurred in Lincoln, but officers were informed that the vehicle was now heading east towards Omaha on Interstate 80. The Jeep was quickly spotted near the 42nd Street interchange. However, when a trooper attempted to pull the vehicle over, the 11-year-old driver and his 2 14-year-old passengers only stopped briefly before taking off. The chase that followed reached speeds of 110 miles per hour, and at some point a handgun was thrown from the window of the stolen Jeep. Approximately 3 minutes later, the 3 suspects came to a stop voluntarily near the 20th Street overpass and were taken into custody. When troopers searched the vehicle, they found a second gun, and it was determined that both had been stolen. The 11-year-old suspect was arrested on suspicion of theft by unlawful taking of over $5,000, possession of a stolen firearm, flight to avoid arrest, willful reckless driving, obstruction, and other traffic violations. He has since been released to his mother. The 2 14-year-olds were taken to the Douglas County Youth Center on suspicion of possession of a stolen firearm. Thankfully, no one was injured as a result of the brief high-speed chase.
An argument over cheese eggs allegedly escalated to the point of armed threats this week when a waitress at an Atlanta Waffle House allegedly pulled a gun on a man for complaining about his order. The bizarre incident took place around 1 a.m. on October 13th at the Waffle House location at 300 Marietta Street Northwest near Centennial Olympic Park. According to the alleged victim, Candy Franklin, it began when he ordered cheese eggs, which he said were never brought to him. After that, he said that they brought him normal eggs, leading things to escalate further when he said that he had actually ordered eggs with cheese on them. Franklin said that when he finally received the correct order and was checking it, he looked up to find a gun being pointed in his face by his waitress, Angelique Patterson. He claims that it was at this point that Patterson threatened to, quote, blow his brains out, causing him to leave in a hurry and call police. For her part, Patterson claims that Franklin was belligerent from the beginning of their encounter, and that he was arguing with her and the cook the minute he made his order. She further claimed that she had left the restaurant at one point for a smoke break, but that Franklin had followed her out and continued to berate her. According to reports, she said that eventually she felt smothered by Franklin, and that pulling the gun out was her way of quieting him down. While police and representatives from Waffle House say that they are currently investigating the situation, Patterson has since been charged with aggravated assault in connection with the bizarre incident.
Authorities in Mason County, Washington say that a 39-year-old Department of Corrections officer has been arrested for numerous alleged offenses this week after an investigation revealed that he had recently planned his own shooting. According to reports, the case began when Community Corrections Officer Christopher Flo called 911 on the morning of October 7th and claimed that he had been shot by an unknown person in the city of Shelton. The call prompted a search for a potentially armed and dangerous person in the city's downtown area, but no such person was found. However, it didn't take long for police to turn their suspicions towards Flo himself after they noticed inconsistencies with his statements. A week after the shooting, Flo admitted the strange truth to investigators during an interview. He had planned the shooting himself and asked his sister to carry it out. A subsequent interview with Flo's sister confirmed the bizarre revelation. The woman said that she had initially refused to shoot her brother, but following repeated requests, she eventually agreed. The weapon and corresponding shell casing from the bullet were found in Flo's sister's home. The brother and sister duo were both arrested and taken to the Mason County Jail for conspiracy to commit assault in the first degree, conspiracy to commit a drive-by shooting, assault in the first degree, and other charges. Though authorities have said that they won't comment on the ongoing investigation, it's clear that there is more to the story. However, at this time, there's no word on why Flo planned his own shooting.
Authorities in Pasco County, Florida say that a 52-year-old man is safely in police custody this week after he was allegedly captured on security camera entering the bedroom of a 9-year-old girl after breaking into her family's home. According to reports, the nightmarish home invasion took place sometime in the early morning hours of October 14th, when a man named Thomas Marnetz broke into the residence of Jacqueline Isinga and Daniel Rolls. Marnetz was allegedly able to gain access to the home by first breaking the bottom of a door that led into their garage. He then entered through another interior door. Once inside, Marnetz was captured on a surveillance camera walking into the bedroom of the couple's 9-year-old daughter. After a brief moment, he was captured again walking out of the room and undoing his shorts before entering a second time. Thankfully, it was at this point that the family's dogs began barking, alerting Jacqueline and Daniel to the presence of the intruder. Daniel chased Marnetz, however, he wasn't able to catch him. Fortunately, surveillance footage of the incident was quickly released to the public, and by the end of the day, Marnetz had been identified as the culprit by his sister and several other tipsters. Police found Marnetz at a motel, and he was promptly arrested. Authorities say that he was wearing the same clothes as in the video when he was taken into custody. There was reportedly no indication that he knew the victims. The family is obviously horrified by what happened, but say that they are grateful because they know the situation could have turned out much worse. Thankfully, the 9-year-old was completely unharmed and apparently slept through the entire terrifying encounter.
An Illinois mother of 3 has been arrested and charged with murder this week after she allegedly shot and killed a man in his home because he refused to kiss her. According to reports, the incident began when 28-year-old Claudia Resendez Flores was drinking with 29-year-old James Jones and his girlfriend in their unit at the Preserve Woodfield apartment complex in Rolling Meadows on the night of October 14th. Things took a turn for the worse when Flores asked Jones for a kiss and he refused, leading her to ask Jones' girlfriend instead. The woman also declined, leading Flores to demand that Jones kiss her a second time. When he refused again, she reportedly flew into a rage and grabbed a gun that Jones kept concealed beneath a couch cushion in the apartment. When Flores pointed the gun at Jones, he realized that she had disengaged the weapon's safety and he attempted to push her arms down and away from him. However, she was still able to lift her arms and shot Jones in the chest. Jones' girlfriend immediately called 911, but sadly he died from his injuries. When police arrived at the scene, they found the murder weapon in the living room, and Jones' girlfriend explained what had happened. Flores was arrested and has now been charged with first-degree murder. While few additional details are available at the time of this recording, the incident has been described by some as a love triangle gone wrong. Reports also allege that Flores was living with Jones and his girlfriend at the time, though this is disputed by her lawyer, who claims she lived with family in Des Plaines.
A South Carolina elementary school teacher has been arrested and is facing charges this week after she was accused of having marijuana edible candies in her classroom prize box. According to reports, 27-year-old Victoria Weiss kept the candy-stocked prize box in her classroom at Rocky Creek Elementary School in Lexington as a way to reward students. The bizarre and concerning contents of the box came to light on September 23rd, after a boy in Weiss's class was allowed to pick something and came out with a package of edibles labeled Stony Patch Kids, obviously meant to emulate the branding of the popular gummy treat Sour Patch Kids. Weiss evidently realized that these were edibles because she took the package away from the boy and told him to choose again. However, when he grabbed a second package of marijuana edibles from the box, it apparently went unnoticed. That was until the boy arrived at his after-school daycare program and asked for help opening the package. After realizing that the boy was in possession of edibles, the daycare contacted his school. A search of the prize box revealed additional packages of edibles, as did a subsequent search of Weiss's house. Though thankfully none of the children consumed any of the edibles, parents as well as staff at the school were understandably concerned by the incident. This is especially true since, unlike many states that have changed their marijuana laws in recent years, the edibles reportedly remain totally illegal in South Carolina. Weiss was fired from her job on October 13th and turned herself into authorities 2 days later. She is currently facing charges for possession of a Schedule I drug. At the time of this recording, it remains unclear exactly how the edibles came to be in Weiss's prize box. Though it's clear that she filled the box with candy, some reports state that she purchased the treats from a Dollar General store. This, combined with the fact that she took the first package of edibles from the student, suggests that this is likely a case of negligence rather than malice. If so, we're guessing that Weiss is probably going to take more time reading labels in the future.
Authorities in Houston, Texas say that one Harris County Constable deputy is dead this week and 2 others are injured after a shooter ambushed them outside of a local bar. According to reports, the incident unfolded in the early morning hours of October 16th when 3 deputies, 30-year-old Kareem Atkins, 28-year-old Daryl Garrett, and 26-year-old Joaquim Barthen, were working an extra job providing security at the 45 Norte Sports Bar in Independence Heights. It began at approximately 2:15 a.m. when Kareem and Garrett went outside to the bar's parking lot to address a disturbance that had been described as a possible robbery. As the 2 deputies began to arrest a person believed to be involved in the incident, a second suspect ambushed them, emerging with a rifle and opening fire on them. Atkins and Garrett were both hit immediately, and the sound of the gunshots quickly drew the attention of Barthen, who was shot in the foot as he rushed to help. When Houston police arrived on the scene, 1 person was arrested. However, the shooter managed to escape. Sadly, Atkins would die as a result of his injuries. The 30-year-old was a father of 2 who had only recently returned to work from paternity leave. Garrett, meanwhile, was sent to the hospital with a gunshot wound to his back. He has since had surgery but remains in the intensive care unit. At the time of this recording, authorities are still on the hunt for the unknown shooter, who has been described as a heavy-set, bearded Hispanic man in his 20s. He was wearing a white t-shirt and jeans at the time of the attack. Anyone with information concerning the suspect's identity or whereabouts is encouraged to contact Houston police.
Authorities in the city of Fort Smith, Arkansas say that 3 people are dead this week and a police officer has been seriously wounded following a terrifying attack. According to reports, at approximately 6:20 a.m. on October 17th, local police were alerted to a violent incident at a residence on the 2800 block of Tills Avenue by a 911 caller. The caller told police that they could hear yelling and screaming and that there was a confrontation happening outside a home nearby. When an officer arrived at the scene, he discovered 40-year-old Christopher Connor beating a 15-year-old boy in the face and head with a rock. The officer attempted to place Connor in restraints, and at first he seemed to comply, but suddenly drew an edged weapon and sliced the officer's throat and neck. The officer responded by firing at Connor twice, killing him. When additional help arrived on the scene, it was quickly discovered that the residence had been the site of more disturbing violence. Inside the home, investigators found the body of 42-year-old Julia Marie Moore, who had been brutally stabbed to death. An unharmed 5-year-old child was also found inside. Sadly, the 15-year-old victim that had prompted the initial call was later pronounced dead as a result of his injuries. It was also revealed that he was Connor's son. The officer who was attacked was taken to the hospital and underwent emergency surgery, and now appears to be in stable condition. At the time of this recording, few additional details have been released about the chilling crime. It's unclear how or why the violent attack began, or what the relationship was between Connor and the other victims. That's it for this edition of Crimes of the Week. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest releases. Thank you for watching.